Hello, I am Velvet Angel, aka Velvet Angel USA, aka Velvet Art USA, aka Ashley Martin, aka Cool123 Girl, and I am reading a Psychology 101 essay I wrote on November 27, 2018. Title: Can You Learn Whilst Asleep? Forget about reading. Why not just sleep? Hypnopaedia is as described in the 50 Great Myths of Psychology to be sleep-assisted learning, learning new material while asleep. It is typically used to attain new knowledge while having to do the whole learning process over a few readings, but whilst asleep. That is not something entirely possible, at least in the realm of our reality. This essay will dispute why the appeal and concept behind mainstream hypnopaedia is not humanly possible. Hypnopaedia has been introduced through books and visual media such as Brave New World, A Clockwork Orange, and Friends. Main characters in the presented examples experience hypnopaedia, but the reactions vary differently. Popularized in Brave New World, hypnopaedia is shown to encode words heard into the brains of others, not having to pick up a book to read again. Schlegel, 2018. This appeals to many, and can bring in the big bucks for people who are not that interested in traditional learning methods. There are tapes, researches, and ideas based on trying to prove the mainstream hypnopaedia. There's the concept of external stimuli that is introduced whilst in a dream, like squirts of water on the face translated to a dream about a leaky roof. These types of external stimuli research do not necessarily prove that a person is learning throughout rest. It just proves that physical known things are being processed and projected into dreams. With dreams, not everyone can necessarily remember them once awakened either. External stimuli affecting REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, which can be referred to as the dream stage or deep sleep, has been said to not be useful in memory encoding. During REM sleep, our body and brain is more active, which leads people to believe it is the best stage for learning. Presenting odors with different sounds based on their pleasantness is used as an example for proving hypnopaedia. There's also a weakened state of sleep, or most could say being awoken by the actual research. In older studies, brainwaves were not studied during rest to ensure that the participants were actually asleep. Although, in new studies claiming to prove new information can be learned during sleep, they do study the brainwaves so that their information comes from during a wanted state of sleep. Not NREM, non-rapid eye movement, the non-dreaming stage of sleep. Such research that proves hypnopaedia is similar to that from Arzi, Shadsky, Ben Scholl, Nasser, Oxenberg, Harrison, and Sobel. Conditioning tones with odors of different pleasantry whilst asleep and then recording the sniff volume based on what tone is played on its own. They connected this to learning new information, as the participants have learned to connect these two independent ideas together. These studies use NREM as its target due to NREM being useful in memory consolidation, or the process of memories being stored properly for later recollection. It is believed that because of this, it is easier for the encoding of words during sleep. The problem is that this type of research cannot back up the popularized idea of hypnopaedia, the idea that makes outsiders a bit quite of money. Hypnopaedia, as presented in other studies, can be described as learning before sleep and strengthening the learnt material during it. The problem with trying to prove hypnopaedia with these studies is that the popularized idea is that we can learn words and new definitions. But these studies prove the ability to make associations of already known information with each other. Encoding, learning new material, and consolidation usually do not occur at the same time. Studies prove that sleep favors consolidation and wakefulness favors encoding to avoid conflict in the brain. In a study conducted by Schreiner and Rasch in 2014, they had participants fluent in German learn new Dutch words. The participants would then go to sleep and then be tested under translation of the new words. They had 4 groups, with women and men in equal amounts. 2 groups were for sleeping, 1 group exposed to more than the other. The other 2 groups were for those awake, active and passive. Before rest, they are presented orally with a Dutch word while showing the German translation. Whilst asleep, they played the new Dutch words with other Dutch words not gone over previously. Once awake, they were asked to identify what words they remember and to give the German translation. For the two awake groups, the active group performed tasks while still being exposed to Dutch words, and for the passive group, they replayed the Dutch words. It was shown that the two sleeping groups proved better consolidation, whilst the two awake groups did not show as much improvement. At first read, this study could seem to prove mainstream hypnopaedia, but in reality, it strengthens the idea that sleep helps with consolidation. Instead of attempting to force new words into the brain whilst asleep, it has been said that it's easier to learn it first and sleep later. As stated by Dinkelman and Bourne, longer sleep durations yield greater improvements, particularly for procedural memories. Procedural memories are characterized as learned skills, while declarative memory is facts and events. Language, which is what is a big push behind mainstream hypnopaedia, is part of declarative memory. Ignoring the fact that, like dreams, can be forgotten upon awakening, information can be too. It is useful to sleep about 3 hours after encoding a declarative memory. For procedural, rest should be on the same day. In conclusion, sleeping is a good way to help retain information. The way people think of hypnopaedia is not the useful way to learn information. A person cannot encode complex information during sleep, even during NREM. Two unrelatable known things can be connected together in sleep, but it is not the same as learning a new language. If someone would want a better chance at learning a new language and retaining information, sleep not too soon and not too late after learning it. A person cannot expect to wake up the next day after listening to a French podcast knowing what all those words mean if they never studied French before. Thank you for watching. Thanks. Hope you liked my drawing. And I hope you liked my essay.